Leo. Leo. Well, Leo. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Leos are freaks. All the fucking Pisces is revealing that Leos are the freaks, the craziest ones. But also, I don't know, Leo. I mean, Ben and J-Lo got engaged this weekend. Fucking, you know, I guess 2 Leos fucking are the way to go. I saw that and I went, okay, that's kind of crazy. Is it only Leos that understand other Leos? I mean, like, I'm like, it used to be Aquarian. Now I'm like, I'm watching it's Leo. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It kind of makes sense though that it's always Aquarius, or Leos and Leos. Now I have the proof. Because Leo Aquarius are the only 2 that really are that light energy where the photon belt is, and that energy of the sign Uranus, and Uranus flares. But Leo, what shines? Like, it's hard in these times. All this Aquarius that happened, and now it's just Saturn squaring the nodes, and here you are with all this 8th house energy. It's like, where can you be your full vulnerable self? And it just like naturally connects back the same passions that you do, that you have deep within you. That you know, people you don't have to try. It just is. It just fucking is understood. It's just connected. And it's hard to be a Leo. We fucking, we don't even need to speak it. It just like, it just like comes in to us. Like, but if it doesn't come in that way, then we're just like, when we go after something so hard and it's just too hard and all that shit. And if you have too many walls up, we're just like, I don't know, we don't be ourselves, And then eventually if you take the walls down, then it's like, well, you had walls up. You know what I mean? Like, walls are something that we don't do well with as Leos. And I think that's because we don't have walls to God. And Pisces 8th house is the lesson that if you're going to put walls up to connection, do you put walls up to God? And I'm speaking to everybody here. This is what Leo teaches everybody. We're the greatest teachers of love and sex. Jupiter's houses. Sag, 5th house, 8th house, Pisces. So the greatest teachers of the zodiac of love and sex are what? Who? Leos. So that's because we just are who we are, and we don't give a fuck about all the bullshit rules. We know what's real and we know what's not, and that's it. See how it goes for you this week, Leo. 10 of Swords. 2 of Wands. Challenge. Wheel of Fortune reversed. Ace of Wands. Well, Leo, you're at this new point, and I know you're at a new point, but you don't know where it's going, and you feel like you don't even know how to create whatever's this new world. Wheel of Fortune reversed is maybe you're feeling like things aren't turning your direction, but maybe you're not stepping in a direction, which is what this Ace of Wands is saying to do, is there's an open door, but you don't know how to deal with it. Hierophant here. You got to believe in fortune. What stopped? Yeah, I think that you kept looking outside of yourself and you found yourself. But with finding yourself, you would think, I should know exactly where I want to go. I think that this is okay to not know exactly what things are going to look like and allow the wheel to turn. There's nothing to have sorrow about. There's things that have happened in the past or things that are happening that are like, you know what? That's not working out, or this is. And there's nothing to have sorrow about. What's that about? Oh, that's the wrong deck. But it was a Queen of Pentacles, but that wasn't... Oh, 10 of Wands. Oh. It's not such a hard journey. Stop picking the hard journeys. Oh, I'm picking that fucking deck the whole time. Page of Cups reversed. I feel like, you know, it's like you need to lighten up and believe here and commit to a life that actually is not so hard, and that it's okay to be at this new place where you've changed and that you're done repeating and trying to find something that you can't find or that you can't have. And I think that you got to let the wheel turn to wherever it's going to show up. I think that it's kind of an exciting week because I don't think you know what is. I think that you're at a place where you're like, I'm just like, I don't know, God, what do you want me to fucking do? What's out there for me? And that's, and being okay with that. And instead of having such a focus point and having such an objective, I think the whole point of Aquarius 7th house is, who knows? It's a fucking unpredictable journey for love for Leos. And 8th house too, right? It's almost out of nowhere from God. The gifts just drop, you know? But don't, if you're psycho out there and you think I'm your fucking twin flame and I've never met you, like, don't start thinking that you could just drop into my fucking life and fucking, sorry, it didn't work that way. What's Camelot have to say? I think, Leo, it's okay to not know what the fuck, where things are going. I think that it's just like, just anything that feels like too much weight, like, just be honest about that. Well, you got Galahad, so I feel like it's like this is the surrender state, and that you're going to have triumph, and you're going to have that purity and that courage to just be that. And you don't know. There's an emotional, you know, part of this where I think for you it's like, you know, you're done. You've completed a lot of patterns that are done and ones that you kept looking outside, and you don't need to look anymore. I feel like it's almost like things will happen as they are going to happen. And I think that you could just be rest assured and having the courage to surrender and just see what shows up on the tour. 4th house. I know that, you know, finding your roots and finding that emotional place is very important to you. And maybe that's where you just need to focus on first, instead of like looking at this, you know, bigger, grand world. And you don't need to put a lot of weight on just to build roots and foundation. And what does have foundation? What wants to build roots? I think that's something to pay attention to. It's more like when you're going to build a house, you got to find the property first. It's almost like a relationship, right? Like, well, you want to build a house too? Okay, let's find the property together. Great. We built the roots. Now let's build the house. Do you want to have kids? We want to have kids. Do you not want to have kids? We don't want to have kids. Like, you got to build things. And I think that you're at like the most basic place of starting from a whole new you. And you don't even know where the fuck it's going to go. And I think that's a beautiful place to be. I think that you have to believe that fortune's going to turn out where it's supposed to go and have a positive outlook about it, instead of having this negative outlook like you don't know how everything's going to turn out. Like, that's actually probably the best place you could be, Leo. Instead of always, I'm so sure that this looks like it's going to be that way, and then it keeps letting you down. That's the pattern that's ending. That 3 of Wands and that 10 of Swords. Your shadow here is natural, like that organic, real, authentic. I think that that's the shadow, right? It's like, you know, almost like whatever's authentic, real, and organic, it's almost like you're denying, or maybe you are unsure how to deal with it. And I think that that's also this kind of real or organic kind of fortune that's naturally going to happen. Is like you almost like are having the shadow that you don't know how to do that, but it's really basic and it's really simple. It's just letting things naturally happen, like not trying to force anything or not trying to have a understanding of what things are, just naturally letting things happen in your life and seeing what happens. Like, okay. I forgot we were pulling that other Avalon deck and I stopped. I don't know when. Revelation. Leo, this is definitely your revelation. I know that it feels like nothing's going to happen, but I think a lot's going to happen, but it's just like completely unpredictable and completely out of nowhere and completely like, what the fuck? And I think that the more that you just allow that to be, the better that's going to be. That revelation card is the Ace of Swords reversed. It's like, stop looking for where the door is and just letting the door show up. Like, I think that you have to stop looking outside for where things are at Just letting the natural course just show up. The more that you surrender, the more things are going to happen for you right now. And I think that's important. And yes, I know some signs will be pissed, but I forgot to be pulling these. And you got the Wind Fairy, which, I think that for you, this is just a moment of your thoughts, your words, your intellect, and your analysis. You got to stop. The revelation is to stop having this fucking mind game playing about everything. This full moon is in your head. And it's in with the sun in your mental houses. Like, I think it's like just being open. Hey, fuck, I don't know. Let's see how dumb you are being in your relationship. Well, oh, Leo.
Mm-mm. Oh, no. There's something about the signs that don't get the smoke.
What?
There's something about the signs when they don't get the smoke.
I know. This is what you need to pay attention to the most, Leo. But I think that's the whole part, is like just letting things naturally go. You don't need to understand where things are going so much. I think, you got the Sun card. You got to learn to just be yourself and stop not being you. It just remember that you're positive. You enjoy life in every moment. And that's why people love you, instead of trying to like prove yourself or trying to be somebody to somebody that you can't be. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do, Leo, is trying to change yourself to be what somebody else wants you to be. That's not going to work. Never does. Sixth house, Virgo, Mercury. I know it might seem like really boring, but just keep living your life and watch. If you just live your life in the most purest form and you communicate your life and the basics of who you are, then the natural state of beautiful things will come into your world, the purest things. So be in a pure state right now, Leo, of yourself, and everything will thrive for you this week. You really don't have to have it all figured out or known or where it's going right now. That's the best part.
Yeah, I think you don't have to necessarily control every situation or manipulate it. You just have to be really open to where God's trying to bring energy in right now, and be accepting of what is coming in, but also pay attention to what's there. And like, is it really beautiful? Is it really open spiritually? Is it taking you to this like next level of like soul merge? I mean, it feels like people can be really showing up in your life for that time right now, and they can almost be like ready to take you to the next stage. We've been talking about Saturn square the nodes for a long time, but the North Node's in your 10th and Saturn's in your 7th. So it's like relationships actually could be that thing that help you get to the next level, but they have to be on that like soul merged level. And if they are, and it's like mutual and you can build together, then it's 100, it's solid. And I think the full moon's a big deal in your 3rd house because this brings up your environment, and it's squaring Pluto in your 6th. So it's like environment, your daily life, like there are changes. There's a transformation here, especially with Jupiter, Neptune, and even Mars coming into your 8th house. Like a transformation's necessary so that your soul can merge with the reality and the dedication and the relationships and the people in your life that can really leave you more fulfilled than ever. And I think like help you really be yourself and shine, and they can like uplift you. So I think it's pretty solid for Leos right now, which I know it's been hard for Leos lately. So I think that this can like really change the game on a deeper emotional level, and you want to be able to talk about it or talk about your emotions and not just like suppress and hide things. That'll be important too.
Yeah, and allow what's coming in and what's going out. You just it's a time with, 8th house is in and out, right? Things that are coming in and things that are purging out. So it's like, as things purge out, things will come in. As some things have been in for too long, they'll purge out. And just having, this is a wheel. Like, it's just like, and it's always spiritual. That's what sucks about being a Leo, is Leos, when the kingdom gets crazy, it's because there's an energy that's not supposed to be in there. And that's why people kind of are scared of being with Leos as friends, lovers, everything, because they're afraid of getting kicked out of the castle. But it's whatever energy that they're not showing up with. It's just not. That's a whole 8th house Pisces thing. It's like, I always say, If you're not in a good spiritual place, this place will just naturally just like find a way for you to get out the door. It's fucking crazy, you know. And I hold that space as a Leo, and right, it's the same thing with the sun. You get too fucking close, and you think you can, and you're not ready, like Mercury is, and smart and thinking about things and being of the spiritual higher mind of the fucking alchemical hermetic mind. You're out. Fucking bye. Like fried. So, you know, that's life.